That was an awful clap. But we're back. 2-week hiatus because I was gone. That is my fault. I thought I should go visit my brother, and I was like, okay, I guess I went down to attempt to do the show, but internet problems at both hotels. There's like no, it's like I'm not doing this. There's no way we can just hold on to this. So now we're back. I am Zach, your host, Zach McAdoo, with the other half of MC Sports as I point the wrong way, Kevin Capstick. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing well. It's a Tuesday, February 1st. Just another week. What can I say, honestly?
Yeah,
Just
and
that,
go ahead. Sorry.
and just that much closer to the Bills playing again. Honestly, that's all. Just on to the next. On to the next. On to the next.
All right. Before we get into that, though, we have some. We'll get into the whole NFL playoffs and whatnot. But I just want to point out, if you see me look up, mind your business. I am watching college basketball because we have, mobile bets on top of mobile bets, and I got my parlay going tonight. I don't know, Kevin. You don't bet on college basketball, do you?
No, I would love to be able to get into college, but I just don't. I would love to be able to do it, but no, I don't. I don't get into college.
We're one month away from March Madness, one of the best times of the year. But right now, we are in a different type of playoff mode. We are still kind of in the NFL playoffs mode, if you can call it that, with the Super Bowl just 13 days away now. But, or is it 12? 12 days away. Let's get into it. All right, Wildcard Weekend. We were both at the Buffalo Bills demolishing the New England Patriots game. New England Patriots? I can't talk tonight. What was your reaction? How could you describe that atmosphere from that Saturday night?
Well,
On that
the atmosphere was unbelievable. An atmosphere that, as a Bills fan, I can get used to for the next. How long do we sign Josh Allen for? 6 years. Yeah.
Well,
So
we
for
have
the next
7 years now, because including
7 years.
your option.
So 7 years, I can get used to that for the next 7 years. Having playoff football into January in Buffalo. Atmosphere was amazing. Cold, doable, but amazing. And I would like to say that I did kind of call out Devin Singletary and how amazing he was going to do against the Pats. And so if I said that, the Bills offense was going to score a touchdown every single drive, you would have called me crazy. But it happened. But I did do a good job on my prediction of Devin Singletary that week. I thought I did a half decent job. It was hard to predict. It was hard for any positive offensive prediction to go wrong that weekend in Buffalo.
Yeah, I remember sitting in the stands. I was like, you know something. Singletary has 2 touchdowns. He already has 50 yards. Kevin might be right. This sucks, but he only got to 82, I believe. So he didn't get
87 maybe? I don't know. He was in the 80s. But he was close though. I mean,
yeah, he got halfway at halftime. So I mean, you were there almost. I mean, yeah, we didn't sit together. I was up with our other friends in the 300 section, and everyone's just high five after every touchdown. That Micah Hyde play, where on the first drive, that is a moment I don't know that I'll ever forget. Where combine that with Knox's first touchdown, I remember on Knox's touchdown, I thought he didn't get it. That was like even Josh Allen said it was a throwaway. There's no way he's getting to that.
I think a lot of people thought that was a throwaway, but I was 12 rows from that touchdown. I was in that corner. I could see Josh Allen throw it up, and he's running back to the huddle, and Dawson Knox, 2 hands in the end zone, both feet on the ground, touchdown in the back of the end zone. Our corner's freaking out. Everyone else was ready for the next play. Insane. It was just literally insane. They couldn't do anything wrong. Couldn't do a single thing wrong.
And I gotta go back because I've been on the Dawson Knox train since his rookie year. A lot of people called for him. A lot of people, Bills fans, said they should move on from Knox, get a better tight end. I've stayed the course. Where are all you Dawson Knox haters at, baby? But going back to my Micah Hyde, what I said about Micah Hyde, I turned around and was getting ready to say every swear word in the book because I thought Mac Jones threw an absolute dot to Nelson Aguilar. But I don't know how Micah Hyde caught that ball. I still don't.
It was insane. I just you have to think back about it. It's been a couple weeks, but man, that was on the opposite side of the field, same side of the on the Patriots sidelines. Oh, he came out of nowhere. I had to watch the replay the next day just to see how much ground he covered, because that night they didn't have all they had. The angles were just what the broadcast had, but fans recorded it, and you can see literally how many yards Micah Hyde ran from the center of the field, ran over there, and he literally took the ball out of the receiver hand. If he was a second later, it's a touchdown. Easy.
Yeah.
1 second later, touchdown.
Yeah, he timed it absolute perfectly to get there and make that interception to help the Bills win 47-17. I don't think we've ever seen that out of a Bills team, let alone against a top 5 defense.
No, and they didn't play like a top 5 defense either, like
No.
at all. Like I was honestly worried for the rest of the NFL following that week because the Bills went out there and did something to a top 5 defense that's never been done before in NFL history. Let alone they're going against the Chiefs defense, who's better than what they were at the beginning of the year, but not nearly as good as the Pats defense. Well, we all know how that turns out, anyways. But it was monumental, historical game, best game ever to be played on a turf. It happened in Orchard Park in front of our very own eyes. It was a moment that can never be replaced in my eyes as a football fan.
All right, yeah, I completely agree. Like I said, it was a party in the fourth quarter. I can only imagine what it was like in the lower bowl. But that wasn't the only game played wild card weekend. We had 5 other games. What else do you want to bring up here before I get into what I want to say?
Oh, so wild card. Let's see. The Bengals against the Raiders. No one was really surprised there with the outcome. I did have the Raiders doing the underdog, but I was just hoping they could keep on going, though. I mean, it's a great story. I mean, why do you want to root against that, in my opinion? But, I mean, the better team ended up winning that game, and I don't know if you have anything else to add there.
No, and I don't get why people were all upset about the whistle like that. I don't know that it would have changed anything. I understand like the Raiders stopped playing, but yes, it goes against the rules. But there's a lot of stuff that jumbles up there. The thing I want to talk about: Cowboys, Niners, and the play call that got Twitter talking. 14 seconds, no timeouts. Dak Prescott runs. I don't dislike the play call. I honestly
don't either. I don't either. It's a decent play call. It just needs to be orchestrated better. I mean, you don't need to run additional 5 yards. You're in field goal range. Slide earlier, and then set it up.
They need a touchdown.
Oh, okay. So okay, you're right. But still, it's 5 yards. So you spike the ball 5 yards closer, farther.
They only needed 1 yard to get the first out. That's all it was. And I don't know why he didn't slide earlier, because knowing that he times against him, and if he doesn't get out of bounds, they're not stopping the clock. So I don't know. I think it's more on Dak than it was Kellen Moore or Mike McCarthy. And I do like Dak. I think Dak's a good quarterback, and he helped me get second place in our league. Don't know how I lost that one, but
what he said after the game is what really boggled my mind. He's supposed to be a locker room leader and a leader of the team of America, football team of America, and he is going out there and telling fans and condoling fans throwing things at the ref when all the ref was doing was simply following the rules of football. That's not the first time that an event like that has happened this year. You can go over to the Steelers and see what they think about what the refs have to do when they place the ball down. I mean, it's the same thing. You just have to know the rules, and that just at the time it was inappropriate or wrong for Dak to say that.
Yeah, and my thing with that is he's showing his emotion, he's showing the frustration, and it's happened a lot before. You go back to the first time that the Bills-Patriots played, you saw Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer get asked if they were embarrassed after giving up that many yards. So it's the same thing here.
Yeah, it's a little. I could defend Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer because that game the Patriots didn't average a lot per
No.
rush.
3.5.
So, I mean, 3.5, that's not a lot at all.
That
Averaging
if
for a run
3.5
play.
yards, if you compare that to the last, I think it was either 2021, it was one of the whole seasons. If you compare that to a rushing offense, that would have been the worst in the league. If you put that against against every yards per rush.
So for them, I'd understand.
Yeah,
Absolutely. The frustration.
but still, there's no frustration. Is it voicing wrong? Yes, because it's not the ref's fault that he didn't get down. It's not the ref's fault that they had 14 penalties. But it's still voicing frustration, and he didn't get fined. The rest of the games that were even including the Bills one was a blowout. You look at Bills Patriots as a blowout, Chiefs Steelers, Bucks Eagles, and unfortunately Cardinals Rams blowouts. And I heard a lot of people complaining. Yeah, this is not the football we want to see. This is awful football. Like, you do realize even if it was the old style where it was only 6 teams get in from each conference, you're still getting 2 of those games.
Yeah.
I don't know what the complaining is. You're getting extra football. It was just mind-boggling to me of why we get that.
And like, so what if a team blows out another team? Whatever. It's football's football. So like, are you gonna be complaining that much about the Eagles getting torched by the Bucks? No, you're gonna be happy. You're gonna sit there and watch Tom Brady do his thing on an NFL football field. No, you're not. You're not gonna be upset by that. Come on, it's just football's football, and it's an extra 60 minutes that didn't exist 2 years ago. So that's. I mean, I understand the games aren't the best, but they're still out there playing. I don't. I don't get it.
All right, that leads us to the divisional round. We'll just go game by game here because there's only 4 of them. Titans Bengals. I didn't get to see a lot of this game because like I said, I was out on vacation. I did see bits and pieces of it when I had Wi-Fi. Ryan Tannehill did not look good. However,
No.
I did know he was going to throw a pick, and I was surprised to immediately see it on the first play of the game. And I just started laughing. Like, come on.
That game, if you watch that game, it looked like neither team wanted to win. That's what it reminded me of. The Bengals had opportunity after opportunity to win that game and just didn't. Titans had opportunity and opportunity to take the game back into their hands and just didn't. It was just like, well, whoever is going to make the last mistake is who's going to lose, and that's what happened in the game, and that's how it finished.
Yeah, and as someone who had a Titans future, as for them winning the Super Bowl, it kind of hurt because once I saw that, like, it was 60-16, the Titans had the ball under 2 minutes. Like, okay, they're gonna go down and score, or they're gonna run out the clock because Derrick Henry's just gonna run the ball. I should be fine. They're gonna go to overtime, and Derrick Henry's gonna get me more rushing yards. Next thing I know, I look at my phone. Oh no, that they lost. It's 1916, and like I was trying not to swear on a Disney bus, and like it's like, come on, really?
Yeah, that was a game where no one wanted to win, and it. I mean, it's still a decent game, but just sloppy football in a divisional round playoff game.
And then that leads us to the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. This one I didn't get to see. I was in the room, and I wanted to see this one.
I don't. I'm gonna be honest. That weekend is just a blur to me. I'm being completely honest. I don't remember what I remember watching or not. But but the Niners own Aaron Rodgers. Is that official? I thought it was gonna be AFC NFC Championship game. I thought that's what owned Aaron Rodgers, but maybe it's the 49ers that own him. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. What's your thoughts on Packers, Niners?
I mean, this is the Niners team that I thought we would see earlier in the year. A defense that was going to absolutely stifle everyone else. I was high in the Niners defense. That I took them in our draft because I was like, okay, this is a team. They're getting back Nick Bosa. Fred Warner is an absolute stud, and like I was like, yeah, this defense is going to be something. And that's what they did. They went out limited the Packers to 10 points. Aaron Rodgers to 1 touchdown, if that. I don't even know if he got the touchdown or if it was Aaron Jones. again, we're going back 2 weeks here, so I don't remember. And I went to bed. It's 10. I think it was 10, 10-3, I think. And I was like, okay, Packers got this one. They're just gonna run the ball right now. No, again, more surprises because here comes a blocked punt on
For a
Corey
touchdown.
Barorquez, a former Bill, and it's just like, okay, that's that. What was that? Now we're tied at 10, and then more Packers uh, failures, a choke, and here we are, another Packers loss in the divisional round instead of the championship round.
I would be very surprised if the Packers don't reconsider Corey Bojorquez as their punter for next year. He is a horrible field goal holder. He just can't do it. That's why the Bills got rid of him this offseason, was they replaced him with Matt, and Matt is more consistent in the holding. That being said, he's not a great punter. We don't
Yeah,
have him for his punting skills. We have him for his holding skills. And as you can see, Max Crosby, he
Mason
was one of
Crosby.
the most Mason Crosby was one of the most consistent kickers in the league throughout his career, and he looked like he could have been cut any week last year. I had him in fantasy. I had him in fantasy football because I was like, this dude's automatic. He's on with Aaron Rodgers, a very high power offense. But no, he was not good at all this year.
Yeah, it's funny because I thought Corey Barocas was one of the best punters in the league last year, and now you have Matt Hawk, who is very spotty. Like, don't get me wrong, Matt Hawk has had absolutely beautiful punts this year. He had one against the Chiefs, what we'll get into. But he's been very spotty. Go back against the Jets. How many punts did he muff
Hmm.
there? It was like three in a
Like
row.
5 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, like you said, he can hold the ball at least, and that's what you need on a team that, well, the Bills didn't punt much late in the season, so you don't really need a punter. You need a holder.
Yeah.
So then we get into Sunday's game, Rams Bucks. I did get to see a lot of this one. I was actually in a sports bar for the last 5 minutes. Well, I shouldn't say 5 minutes. Probably the last 3 minutes of this game. I remember walking in. It's 27-20, and I'm thinking, how the hell are the Bucks back in this?
Yeah, that was kind of crazy to think about. Watching, because I did watch that game Sunday at early afternoon, and it was the first half was like, Rams had this, and then you just can't count out Tom Brady in any kind of game, and then they start coming back, and then there's it just flipped back for the Rams, and not flip back a lot, but flip back enough to just be able to hold them off. Because I'm sure if there's more time left, they were able to come back and win that game. I'm pretty positive of it. But they were able to play that 60 minutes and get out with a dub and go back home for the next week.
Yeah, I mean, the Bucks tied it with what, a minute left, something like that, and I was sitting there like, I don't want to be here right now. I Everyone in that place was loud because you're in Florida. You're gonna get a lot of Bucks
Yep.
fans, and like they were all loud and cheering. I was like, oh God, please, please do something here, Stafford. Sure enough, I don't know how the hell Cooper caught that ball, but
But he was open. He
yeah,
was. It wasn't even close.
but still, you don't those deep balls like that. You don't expect to be caught a lot of times because usually they're overthrown or throwing something like that. That was an absolute dot by Matthew Stafford.
And there's some players year to year that you just can't stop, and they'll go up and get everything. That's Cooper Cup and Jamar Chase this year. You throw it up and they will get the ball. I mean, next year who knows who it's going to be? It's going to be probably another quarterback and wide receiver duo. But this year it's Cooper Cup and Jamar Chase. You throw it up to them, you almost guarantee every single time they're coming down with the ball. And happened for the Rams today was a touchdown, game-winning touchdown. We'll take them
No,
back home to.
they had a
Oh, it
spike and
wasn't a
kicked a
touchdown.
game-winning field goal.
Oh, okay, you're right. You're right. You're right. But it got him in range to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So, in situations like that, you you need a player like Cooper Cup to do that, and Matthew Stafford threw it right on the money to get him in position.
And then Matt Gay finished it off for the 30-27 victory. And what turns out, Tom Brady, that was Tom Brady's last game, his last time on a field. He tied it for the Bucs, but it was not enough. As Tom Brady announces he is done, finito. And I think it's funny because I don't like Jalen Ramsey, but Tom Brady absolutely freaking burned Jalen Ramsey on his final touchdown pass, and then Mike Evans tosses the football into the crowd again.
Oh, again!
He did it again. I went back and watched it. He goes whoop.
Oh my gosh! He wouldn't have known, though. He wouldn't have known.
No, because who would have, like, even Tom said he wanted to go for like 50, but Giselle was one. Giselle's one who didn't want Tom playing even longer. So that brings us to the last game of the divisional round, and I think we both need to get some alcohol out for this one because this is a little bit of a therapy session now. It's empty before anyone says why you promoting it. No, but
oops, dropped my phone.
Go first, Kevin.
Oh my goodness. So I want to start off with, man, I have some opinions about the Bills game, and I'm sure that's not surprising for anyone who knows me when it comes to sports. I do have outlandish opinions and takes. But I went into the game very, very, very confident in our defense. And because all I heard at Buffalo radio every single day was Patrick Mahomes and how good Patrick Mahomes is. And I was like, do you guys not understand? We have the #1 pass defense in the league. People are saying it's the best pass defense in the past decade. So you're telling me that Patrick Mahomes is going to go out there and do his thing? And I told a couple of my family members and friends that Patrick Mahomes has to play perfect to win that game. And he did play perfect. But I don't think he had to play perfect to win that game. I don't think so. The way the defense was playing, I don't think so. And that being said, I'm not bashing the defense because I don't... There's 60 minutes in a whole game, and you can't blame 13 seconds on the defense. There's 60 seconds in there. I'll let you tell me your opinion, but I have another thing before I get into that about the offense. So I'll let you go first to share your thoughts.
I'm going to start with what I probably should end with, but I want to make sure I don't forget this because this is one of the first things. I shouldn't say one of the first things. This is the first thing I told my brother after the game. Like, Gabriel Davis had an absolute career day setting an NFL postseason record, and it's going to take a long time for any Bills fan to watch that game. Because no diehard Bills fan is going to go out and watch that game because of the heartbreak that it caused. But, yeah, a lot of problems there. Defense didn't do their job for most of the long, 33 points in 59 minutes, 47 seconds. Then you have the last 13 seconds where Leslie Frazier decides to do prevent defense when the Chiefs have 3 timeouts, which is absolutely idiotic. I don't know. Josh Allen, he's going to take a lot of flack for the coin toss, but
you can't give him the flack. He had a perfect record up until then.
9-0 in every coin toss up until the Chiefs game where he went 0-2.
So my issue when it comes to this game is, and I know that I'm in the minority in this, and I completely understand this, and you can think my take is horrible, but let's look at the third quarter of the football game. So Chiefs get the ball, they go down, and they score either touchdown or field goal. I don't remember. I try to forget the game, honestly. The Bills get the ball. Their first drive is 3 plays for 3 yards. They punt the ball. The Chiefs get the ball. They go down and score either a touchdown or a field goal. I don't remember. It's been a while. The Bills go down. They get the ball. They have 8 plays for 57 yards and punt the ball. If the Bills turned either one of those two possessions into points, we wouldn't be talking about the last 13 seconds of the game. And that's where, as a Bills fan and a defense guy, I get upset with the Leslie Frazier stuff because Brian Daboll in the third quarter, first 2 drives, did not run the offense well at all. How you see that offense in the first 2 drives, and then you see what Josh Allen does with 2 minutes left in the game? That's completely 2 different teams. I don't like the play call. I'm happy that Dayball's gone, and honestly, I'm happy that Frazier's here. He has organized and brought together players who should not be successful together, but yet they are. Talk about Micah Hyde. He was an absolute nobody on the Packers. Came to Buffalo. Great.
Kevin,
Jordan Poyer.
stay off the weed. Micah Hyde was a pretty good safety.
He wasn't a great safety. He's not anywhere what he's close to now.
Debatable.
Okay, Jordan Poyer had an injury that no one thought he could come back from. Comes to Buffalo, in the best safety tandem in the league. You have Levi Wallace, who is a undrafted free agent, coming in there and playing very well. You have Dane Jackson, a 7th round draft pick, coming in and replacing Tre'Davious White, a top 10 corner in the league, and you can't even tell. You have I can't even think of his name now.
Taron Johnson.
Taron Johnson. One of the best nickel corners in the league at his position. You have Jerry Hughes, who has a pretty decent career in Buffalo. Decent career. Mara Addison. Star. Ed Oliver. He broke out this year. Matt Milano. Matt Milano's not supposed to be the player he is right now. He was not drafted to be a top 15 outside linebacker. It's just not where he was. So Leslie Frazier put this defense together, and it's very successful. And people want him fired, and I don't think that is smart. He's orchestrated this defense, and it works very well. And that's my opinion. I'm happy that Dayball's gone. His play calling is extremely consistent throughout the Buffalo Bills offense for the past 2 years.
Yeah, but the only thing Frazier needs to get better on is his play calling. You have to admit the prevent defense in that scenario.
Yeah.
And
but that was also passed by the coach, though, right? I mean, Sean McDermott has to approve that play.
I don't know.
And they called a timeout, too. So they had a chance to look at the play. And they went out and called the same exact thing. I mean, someone in the organization didn't realize that that's not the best option. I mean, you get 2 chances to look at that, and then you do it twice. So clearly people who are looking at the play call didn't think it was that big of a deal.
I don't know. And then we have overtime where it ended. The Bills could not get the ball. And we'll start. Should overtime rules be changed?
I like the idea of overtime rules in the playoffs changing. I know one of the big things for NFL players are that they don't want to get injured in overtime. So adding a whole extra quarter, higher chance of injury, I understand that. It's a regular season game. I understand that. Overtime in the playoffs should be different rules. I think it should be an extra quarter added on. Maybe not even quarter. We're talking 8. minutes. I don't know, half a quarter. Something needs to change. I don't think you can just have it. Whoever scores a touchdown first wins. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean they're 10-2, including the AFC Championship last game when of whoever gets to coin the ball first in overtime wins. I don't know where I am on this because yes, I do think it's not fair. The Bills defense didn't do their job. Why shouldn't the Chiefs defense go out and have to do their job too and prevent Josh Allen from scoring? That's how my mindset was. But then I've heard other opinions like, yeah, but if you do that, then you're just watering down the defenses in the NFL more, and it just becomes more of an offensive game. And I get the injury thing, but it's sometimes you don't think these guys want to risk injury and try to get a Super Bowl. You don't think that
Especially
these guys,
playoffs.
yeah, you don't think that these guys are gonna go all out and want to play that extra quarter to make sure that they're moving on. Like that's what a couple things that I've heard. And I've said this since the Chiefs get the Chiefs got screwed on it 4 years ago now. It should have been changed then. Don't know why it wasn't. I don't know why why the Chiefs were the only team that wanted it. But even Andy Reid still says, yeah, it needs to be changed. But to what, we don't know. They don't like the college rules. They don't. They 15-minute quarter is probably not the best scenario. It's a catch-22 no matter what you get at.
Yeah, they have, after the game in 2 weeks, they have some decisions they have to make on that, and definitely the status of how some games have been decided by refs in any sport. There shouldn't be. It should be decided on the football field, and there's been some games where the refs have had their hand too involved in games. And so I'm hoping that the league takes a look at that as along with the OT rules, at least address it. Come out and say that, hey, we looked at it, but as of right now we have nothing better to come up with, because the league, they, with how big it is, they need to at least acknowledge the fact that they looked at it and they're attempting to do something to fix it.
Yeah, but that leads us to the last weekend that we just had. Bengals, Chiefs. 21-3. It was not looking pretty, as it looked like the Chiefs had over 90% chance of winning that game at the half.
It was a brand new half of football, and I am impressed, angrily impressed by the Bengals defense. I said angrily because the Bills defense is highly superior, but did not do as well as the Bengals defense did. But they did good to, I don't know, Travis Kelce, what, he had like one catch in the second half, I saw? Some ridiculous stat. And then for them to go out there and bring themselves back in that game. And I didn't want to watch the game because I knew exactly what was going to happen. I was wrong. I'm happy that I'm wrong. But I didn't turn the game on until after halftime because after the Chiefs failed to put points on the board at halftime, or they put a field goal up, whatever. It wasn't a touchdown. But after their first drive of the half, I turned the game on. And then the Bengals were able to do enough to, force an overtime. And then, they just might have the best kicker in the league now. Who knows? Most confident, at least. Most confident kicker in the league.
Okay, I'll give you that. You make me choke on my spit because what you just said. Holy. Okay. It was actually the Chiefs that forced overtime. They had to get a last-second field goal to force overtime to tie it.
Let's be honest, though. Did anyone anticipate the Bengals going into overtime?
No.
No.
When it was 23, no.
No. So it was just impressive beyond the fact that they won. And I loved the crowd reaction after they won the coin toss because every single person and their mom all believed slash knew that whoever won the coin toss was going to win the game. And the fact that it didn't come out that way, as a Bills fan, got me even more mad. I'm going to be completely honest. That got me even more mad. But something that does feel a little bittersweet. It only took Patrick Mahomes 13 seconds to lose the game in overtime. That does make me feel good. A little bit. It makes me feel better. Not good. Better.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was funny. Josh Allen tweeted out pain, and then I saw a meme that was like, "Oh, now it's tails" with Josh Allen's sad face. I was like, it's just
That's
too
funny.
funny.
I didn't see that. That's funny.
Yeah, but congrats to Joe Burrow. Thanks for making sure that Brittany Matthews and Jackson Mahomes aren't going to do their thing at the Super Bowl again.
Yes, that is very very good. And like now that the Bengals made it, I can say they did their job. Now they can get out of the way and let the Rams win.
Okay, we let me lead into the game instead of you just doing that. Okay, 49ers Rams. We kept giving away, but yeah, the Rams won 20-17. Another choke job by the Niners.
I am. I watched the beginning of the game and I was very, very disappointed on the first couple drives. I was like, this Rams offense is supposed to be really good. And this Niners offense is supposed to be ran through Debo. And the first two drives were punts. And I was like, what is going on with this game? It turned out being um, a Rams victory at the end. But it the Niners did a good enough job to stick around. And my question is, did it do good enough to keep Jimmy G his job for next year? You can finish up your thoughts about the game.
I don't know. Like I said about the Niners, they should have stopped him. I think it was Tart. He had that easy pick that he dropped. He's never gonna live that down. Unfortunately, he's even said like he feels so horrible, and you can't fault the dude for that. The Rams scored, but the Niners defense still should have stopped him after that. They could 13 unanswered in a quarter is not. You can't do that in a football game when you're only up by 10, obviously. But yeah, I was on the Niners in this game, so I wanted the Rams to win, but I was still like, yeah, Jimmy G, Nick Bosa, they're gonna lead this Niners team to the Super Bowl, and I was wrong. Stafford gets his moment as an NFC champion. He's gonna go to the Super Bowl, and we got ourselves a 4v4 matchup.
Yeah, and I am very disappointed in the Bills because I predicted a Bills-Rams Super Bowl at the beginning of the year, and the Rams held up their end of the bargain, and the Bills didn't, which gets me a little bit more disappointed in the season.
Side note, because I just remembered this. Did you see the guy who put a $20 bet on FanDuel Sportsbook, and he turned it into $579,000?
I did. I did not see what the bets were, but I saw the ridiculous amount of money in return he got from that bet.
Yeah, so he got the score of both games perfect. That's why he got that. That's why it was how much it was. Yeah, just like I was saw that, I was like, this guy's gonna do it. Like, there's no freaking way. And then, there was an end on a pick. I think that didn't end on a pick, but like that's what set up Stafford Ding. And it's just like, holy, this guy is actually going to win a $500,000 $20 bet because he got both games perfect.
The amount of luck that takes is ridiculous.
You got
I can't buy half that luck. A
you
quarter. Not even a percentage of that luck I can buy.
you just got to
So,
cash out. You got to cash out. You retire from betting. You just got to
oh,
get. There's no way you're doing that again.
no. No way. At that no. If you just want to throw $1,000 bet on something, let's let's spend a little bit.
Maybe do the
That's
no-brainers, but that's
crazy.
it. You leave some money
Yeah.
in there for the no-brainer bets, but that is it. You take all that
Oh,
money out. You
you
go
go
live
on
your life.
vacation. You go on a vacation.
Maybe you can retire. Who knows? Probably not this day and age. But I was going through Twitter and I saw I was like, unfreaking real. But yeah, that leads us to today with Brady retiring. We have I think there's 4 head coaches that are hired now, right? In Josh McDaniels, Brian Dable,
Yep.
Nathaniel Hackett, and I think I'm forgetting one.
Let me look real fast. Oh man, no wonder hockey. There's a Sabres game tonight. They're gonna lose.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're in ESPN Plus tonight, right?
I don't know. They play at 10 o'clock. I'm gonna be in bed way before that. Let's see. Do. Man, nothing's gonna show up now, is it? Oh man. Nope, that's not a coaching hire. So you have McDaniels, yep, being hired.
Matt Eberflus for the Bears. I knew I forgot one.
Okay, yeah.
But one of the names we did not hear, Brian Flores, and now he is suing the NFL, the New York Giants, the Bears? Oh, the Broncos,
The
the Denver
Bears.
Broncos,
Oh,
and the New
Broncos
York
and the
Giants.
Dolphins.
Yeah, for their head coach hiring practices. And it is alleged that Dolphins owner Stephen Ross gave Brian Flores $100,000 per loss because he wanted to tank.
Yeah, that is crazy events in the NFL. I mean, Brian Flores proved what he could do in Miami. And the fact that a team like the Giants didn't even consider him as a reliable option, or the Broncos as a reliable option, that is a little crazy that they wouldn't do that. He went out in a Miami's team that had no business performing well and did very good for themselves last 2 seasons. And I guess that's where I got him into trouble in Miami. Was winning too much the last season, the season before, when they were getting to get a better draft pick to get make their team better. But I don't know. I have to look into it before I make a true opinion on it. I need to have more facts before I can go dive into whether or not the allegations are true. I just don't have enough information.
Well, I think the Broncos wanted Nathaniel Hackett first and foremost because they want Aaron Rodgers. If the
Yeah.
Broncos believe that if they can get Hackett, they're going to have a chance at Aaron Rodgers. So you, as I pull my earbuds out with my ear, that hurt like hell. So you take the Broncos out of that one. Brian Flores probably had no shot at that Broncos job. No disrespect to Brian Flores, because I do believe he's a good head coach. Very surprised when he was fired, and I think he was wrong. I think he was wrongly fired. I don't understand why he was. You go, what was it, 19 and 15 in 2 seasons, or 19 and 13. Excuse me, I can't count for some reason. In 2 seasons, you should
with Tua as your quarterback, not just anyone, Tua as your
Tua,
starting quarterback.
Tua is developing. I, I don't like. You could say all you want, but about last year, but this year you could definitely see some progression, just like Josh. Not as much as Josh Allen, but just like Josh Allen, you can see that trend going up. Um, but and then with the Giants, I don't know. I haven't seen much. He did show the text with him and Bill Belichick, but is that
But
enough?
again, that can just be again, you can go into any job interview and a organization can already have an idea of who they want to hire. So I don't necessarily know that that makes the Giants in the wrong because you can go and hire anybody for a new position for a position. But if you already have an idea of who you want, then yeah, you're going to listen to the other applicants. But if you already know who you're gonna get, you know who you want. So I don't know if that makes the Giants in the wrong here
Yeah,
necessarily.
yeah. This is new. Probably a couple hours since from whenever this is going live. So there's not much that has been released. Besides, the only thing I saw really was the text. I didn't really fully read into it. I just knew that he was doing 3 teams in the NFL. So you talked about Sabres earlier. Why don't you give us a little recap of what I may have missed while I was gone?
So we are talking about potentially the most controversial trade in NHL history being very, very even. People went out and was really upset with the Sabres and what they got back. But can I tell you what? Peyton Krebs can dish out the puck amazingly. The first day he was up on the roster, he had 2 amazing assists. Amazing. There was a no looker in the slot on the power play. To who? Tuck? Yes, to Tuck on a power play. That is one of many um, plays from those 2 brand new Sabres combined on the active roster. And ironically enough, they are playing in Vegas tonight. Jack Eichel is not quite ready to play, which is fine because I would have had his head if I was a Sabres organization. Um, that being said, they are now being defended by Craig Anderson again, the really, really old man who plays goalie. He's been out of action since November 2nd, I think. This is the second game back. He had a really good, solid outing over the weekend in his return game, um, which is really good for the Sabres because they were before that game on Saturday of him returning, they were down. They're gonna need to get their 7th and 8th goalie on the year, which is crazy to even think about. What kind of team needs to go through 7 to 8 goalies in a single year? It's not your traditional year with COVID and everything. So they had 2 players on COVID, but then you also have 5 other goalies who are injured. So
Or
so
suspended?
4 goalies that are injured, 1 suspended. So and I don't. Again, I'm here talking about the Sabres' future and just how well it looks. JJ Petreka down in Rochester is doing amazing. He talked about dishing the puck out. He has over 40 assists on the year as a rookie in the AHL. He's doing amazing. And from what I understand about the AHL isn't really AHL is an old man's show, and you don't really see that many young players that have that many positive points as JJ does. And not only does he have most positive points, he's like top 10 points in the league among rookies and veterans and all the players in between. which is amazing. I think next year they have a serious if everyone can gel together, and they can put away their using 15 goals a year kind of thing. I think they could honestly push for a playoff spot with the way everything's going. And you bring up Powers, and we see how well he does. You have Devin Levi in the Olympics, both of them for Team Canada. So Devin Levi, the goalie that we got from the Sam Reinhart trade. Um, we see how they're playing on Team Canada, and there's a couple other. There's a defenseman, Samuelson, I believe, is not. No, Ryan Johnson. He's on Team USA, defenseman. So there's quite a bit of different players who are going to be representing their countries, who are also on the Sabres. So it's a very very exciting time for Sabres fans.
I don't know how I forgot about the Olympics. They're coming up in 2 days. How did we forget?
Oh, is
But
it 2 days? I knew it was coming up. I didn't know it was that fast.
yeah, they start Thursday. But a couple things I missed earlier. Ken Dorsey is the new Bills
Oh
OC.
yes.
It just came up. Brian Flores said that the Broncos. He's suing the Broncos because the execs show up late to his interview when
I saw that.
in 2019, and
Yep.
I did. The only thing I saw from the Sabres in the past 2 weeks was Aaron Dell just absolutely taking out of a guy. Stupid, out of a guy who what has he done this year really? Besides have a name from a Disney movie, it's just stupid, and that's probably part of the reason I got cut.
I don't. I watched the game, and I honestly did not think much of the hit at the time. The game was before that was already getting extremely chippy on both sides. You also have to think of it as a Sabres perspective. Jeff Skinner goes and scores a goal, and the refs take it off the clock because there's someone on the other side of the ice who's injured, not even a part of the play. They just stop. They take away the goal because there's someone on the other side of the ice injured, a Senators player injured, and that's kind of what starts the chippiness. Late hits from the Senators giving late hits, and I think overall you can't just look at that hit all by itself. It needs to be looked at as a game, and the game got out of control very fast, and that was one hit that could have been reviewed and clearly was. I still don't think it was that bad of a hit. There was no intention to hurt him. I don't think Aaron Dell was going out for blood. I don't think he was. Yeah, I think Aaron Dell was hitting him. Yes, but there's no intention to hurt anybody.
He absolutely went to take out his legs. You can't deny that.
Oh, it was a shoulder. He hit him with a shoulder.
No, it looked like a stick. He pulled.
I think that was him putting his shoulder into him. Maybe it's just me being a Sabres fan, but
What am I, Kevin?
Also,
what am I?
Okay, and me also liking hits, and I do think you're a Sabres fan, but I'm also going to consider you a fair weather fan as a Sabres fan. Because I watch 75% of all the Sabres game, and I endure everything. You're right, not tonight. I don't watch any West Coast games. I don't do that. That is way too late. But whatever. Aaron Dell shouldn't be on the team anyways. So get rid. I don't care. Whatever. It doesn't bother me. One way or the other, he doesn't matter. He's gone. But I do find it very, very ironic. I'm switching up a little bit. The Flyers, at the time when they faced the Sabres, huge 10-game losing streak. And you know who's on that team currently? Rasmus Ristolainen. Poor guy. Poor guy cannot win a game to save his life. Poor guy. He was my favorite Saber since he was drafted in their organization, and I hated to see him go, but I wanted him to succeed. And it stinks that he's on such a horrible Flyers team. I just wanted to pipe that in there, but we can move on to uh, whatever's next.
Yeah. Well, we have 3 exhibition games on the docket this week. We have the NFL Pro Bowl Sunday at 3. We have the NHL All-Star Game Saturday at 3, and then we have the Clash at the Coliseum. Kevin, do you know where that race is taking place?
The Coliseum.
What Coliseum?
I'm assuming in L.A.
There you go, bump. Yeah, it's taking place in the football stadium of the LA Memorial Coliseum. They laid on a track and everything. So, are you excited for the NFL Pro Bowl? I know not a lot of people are. They're only interested in the skills competition.
I definitely am interested in the skills competition. It's more fun to watch. The Pro Bowl's not fun. They don't do anything. And I mean, yeah, it's player safety, but like, it's not fun to watch a football game and people not get tackled. Like that, you don't understand how that adds to the game until it's get taken out. Like I can watch a flag football game and enjoy it because I'm not missing the tackling because I know it's flag football. You're not supposed to tackle in flag football, but this is the NFL. You're taking away a big part of football. It's just boring. Like, why even have offensive, defensive lines? Like, why? Just have receivers go out there because the receivers and corners, they don't do anything. They don't run the ball. They don't do any of that stuff. It's in any ways, it's just a popularity contest. So it is what it is. I'm not excited for it.
And then we have the All-Star Game. I mean, I think the All-Star Game, the NHL All-Star Game, is probably the second best All-Star Game out of the 4 major sporting leagues. The only one that's behind is the MLB, because I think they still do it right.
I agree. Yeah, the NHL, the All-Star Game is fun to watch, especially because unlike football, you can, on the ice, you can show a lot more skills without taking away stuff. Because football is a very physical game, but in the Pro Bowl, it's not so physical. So, but in hockey, the passes, the plays, the dekes, everything that they do is it just the best players are out there doing the best moves and the best things, and it's fun. Let alone everything else they do, the speed races, the slap shot, the fastest slap shot, the shootout, all those things. It's just a fun environment and fun to watch.
Yeah, that it's always something. I like NHL is posting stuff, or they're getting their fans already, and it's just like I'm watching the videos and stuff like. Yeah, I remember watching that, and I was like, yeah, that moment was awesome when Corey Perry brought out the mini stick, or Patrick Kane with Superman stuff. It's just moments like that. And then the Clash at the Coliseum. You don't know much about NASCAR, so I'll take this one over. A lot of fans aren't happy that's happening at the LA Coliseum because it's typically ran at Daytona. I would rather see it at Daytona, but I'm willing to give the Coliseum a chance because I know why NASCAR is doing this. They want to branch out for the LA market because that's where the Super Bowl is. And they've already said 70% of the ticket sales are for non-NASCAR fans. Like, NASCAR is going out and trying to get these new fans because they went out and got Pitbull and Ice Cube for pre-race and like halftime stuff, even though it's really no true halftime for NASCAR. They have a DJ spinning for every caution that comes out. I mean, if this is done right, I don't think it should be done for every race. I think it should just be done for like the exhibition races like this. But if this is done right, this might be something I do going down the line. But yeah, I think Sunday should be fun.
What time is that Sunday?
same time as the Pro Bowl on Fox.
Oh. Ooh. It's gonna be a little hard for me to watch that then.
You've got multiple screens.
You're right. You're right. I'm willing to turn it on and get into it. I have some family members that are into it, especially if they're trying. If they're trying, I guess I could be willing to try as well. But it's nice they're trying to reach out and get more audience and different diverse populations watching. It's very nice for sports to do that, and I like the way that the NFL is doing that with Nickelodeon outreach on children. That's very nice, even though I find it extremely, extremely corny, but I'm not a child, so I can't really give a good opinion on it. But it's nice to see them try.
I mean, this is stuff you have to kind of try because the attention spans are going low, so you have to get them when they're younger. That sounds wrong, but like, if you can get them hooked at a young age on like sports, they're more likely going to keep watching, and that's what they're trying to do, I guess. I know a lot of like older NASCAR fans are mad because they're changing on NASCAR. NASCAR died with Dale. NASCAR didn't die with Dale. It's still going. It's still fine. The ratings are going down just like every other sporting league, and they're just trying to keep the ratings up to where they are because they know that cable isn't what it was. It's all going to streaming services now. Nothing's the same. But that's more intricate that we probably don't need to get into. Anything else you want to add before we sign off here?
We're gonna do real quick. No, we have a week. Never mind.
Oh, wait a minute. No. How did we forget about this? Royal Rumble.
Oh, Royal Rumble. Oh, my God. I was so excited for this show. So excited. And it wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a bad show. It was just so under... And it just wasn't... They could have done so much better. It didn't do it for me. The women's Royal Rumble, alright. Whatever. I know what they're going to be doing at WrestleMania. I get it. I don't want her there. I don't want Brock there.
What's her name? What is her name, Kevin?
Rhonda. I don't want her there.
Ronda freaking Rousey's back, baby. Woo!
I don't want her there.
Why?
I want people who are there on TV every week to represent.
She was. She left to have a kid.
So she's going to come back.
Yes.
She's going to come back and be there every single Monday night.
She will be. She had a kid.
Okay, so if she's there every single Monday night, I am going to be okay with it. That's what I want. I don't want part-timers coming and taking opportunities away from superstars who are there every single week. I said my prediction was if Roman Reigns loses, he wins the Royal Rumble. If Brock Lesnar loses, he wins the Royal Rumble. Guess what? Brock Lesnar lost, and he won the Royal Rumble. Big surprise, WWE. Wow.
I didn't think about this till someone sent a message in a group chat I'm in today. I do not want to see Brock win at the Elimination Chamber, take the belt to WrestleMania, and a title for title. That would be absolutely stupid. I didn't like it when they did it with Becky Lynch 2 years ago because it made no sense. Why are you putting the both titles, both world championships on one person? It makes absolutely no sense. But it could be the way they're going.
If they do something like that, I wouldn't mind uniting the titles. And then, can we possibly bring back the World Heavyweight Championship? Like, can we look at those titles for a second? And those titles are not unique at all. They're the same exact thing, different colors, very ugly, and I wouldn't say ugly, but they're nothing special.
I said this
before. Can we go back to some of the old titles, like the Intercontinental Champion? Ugly. Either can we go back to the white strap or the other one? like the one before that. Like these titles are so ugly.
Yeah, and I think I think this is the reason why WWE doesn't want to go back to the old titles is because they know they're gonna make more money by having a little cutout for uh each superstar. You know what I'm talking about, like the side plates. They have their own little like
Yeah.
circle there, and
Yeah,
they
but
can
they did that
sell.
with the old titles too.
No, they
Okay,
didn't.
but they could sell though. They could. Okay, can we at least reconsider the design? Like, why does it have to have a the WWE logo in it? That
I
just
think it looks cool. I don't like. Yes, they're not. They're the same thing. It's different, like different colors, but I think they're fine. There's really no problem with them.
if they unite, if they put the titles together, it would only be okay in my eyes if they come out with a new title that looks significantly better.
They won't though. They're not. They're just gonna. They're gonna do what they did last
Then
time. But the only thing this
I don't
time will
like
be
it.
Brock probably just hold on to one title because he's already said he hates when they have two.
Yeah, so I won't like it.
All
It
right,
was
now
very underwhelming.
yeah, the men's Royal Rumble sucked. The only good match besides the women's Royal Rumble was Roman and Seth, and even that ended in
Oh my god.
pissing me off because
Can't we just have a winner, please? Jesus.
that Seth Rollins coming out in the Shield that was
It was
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yep,
you
yep,
can't tell
yep.
me that was not incredible the way he did that. The nostalgia with it, the mind games that to bring back to history. WWE can book sometimes.
When they want to.
Yes.
But also, who is booking that though? Which brand? That's SmackDown writers still. That's SmackDown writers writing that.
I said it. I told my friend this today. If WWE does not do Ronda versus Becky Lynch, I am going to apply to be a writer. The next day, I will apply to be a writer and make sure that because I've already have this book, like this match booked.
Well, everyone had that match
like
book.
the lead up to it at least.
That was one of the biggest predictions was she was going to come back and win. Again, like there was nothing surprising in this Royal Rumble. Like nothing. The only return on the men's side, if correct me if I'm wrong, was Drew McIntyre, and that's not. I mean, it's a return.
And it had Shane too.
Shane, yeah, no one cares about Shane now. Honestly, he comes around too much for it to be a big return. But Drew was out for a couple weeks and he came back. Like that's not really a return.
Yeah, it's not a big return.
And they could have just, let's have someone just come back for one match. Like, just that would have just added so much to that match. So much more. And, yeah, I mean, underwhelming at best that pay-per-view was.
Yeah. So, now is there anything you want to end on?
No, I believe that is all I have for tonight.
All right. Well, I am ZT McAdoo, the MC.
And this...
He's not pointing the wrong way. That's nothing over there. That he is Kevin Capstick, as you can see down there. The C, as I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't even know how I'm going to end this. We need to figure out how to end to the show. Well, anyways, goodbye.
See ya.